Rene Descartes, a seminal figure in the history of Western thought, is widely hailed as the father of modern philosophy. His revolutionary ideas marked a significant departure from the scholastic traditions that had dominated intellectual discourse for centuries. Born in 1596 in La Haye, en Touraine, France, Descartes' early life was marked by a frail constitution, which often kept him in bed. This solitude, however, provided him with ample time for introspection and the development of his prodigious intellect. He received a Jesuit education at the College of La Flèche, where he was exposed to both traditional philosophy and the burgeoning new sciences. Despite his classical training, Descartes found himself deeply dissatisfied with the prevailing philosophical methods. He famously declared that he would seek no other knowledge than that which he could find within himself or in the great book of the world. This resolution led him to travel extensively throughout Europe, observing and learning from a wide array of cultures and experiences. He served for a time in the Dutch States Army, an experience that, paradoxically, gave him more time for his philosophical and mathematical investigations. It was during this period that he had a series of dreams that he claimed revealed to him a new method for scientific inquiry. This method, which he would later outline in his discourse on the method, was based on the principles of clarity, distinction, and systematic doubt. Descartes' most famous philosophical statement, Cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am, became the bedrock of his entire philosophical system. This foundational truth was arrived at through his method of hyperbolic doubt, in which he systematically doubted everything he had ever been taught. He questioned the reliability of his senses, the existence of the external world, and even the truths of mathematics. He posited the existence of an evil demon or malicious genius who could be deceiving him about everything he believed to be true. Yet, even if he was being deceived, Descartes realized that the very act of doubting his own existence proved that he must exist as a thinking thing. This cogito became the first principle of his new philosophy, a certain foundation upon which all other knowledge could be built. From this starting point, Descartes sought to prove the existence of God. He argued that his idea of a perfect being could not have originated from himself, an imperfect being, and therefore must have been placed in his mind by God. Once the existence of a benevolent God was established, Descartes could then trust the clear and distinct ideas that he perceived, as God would not deceive him. This allowed him to reclaim the external world and the truths of mathematics, but now on a much more solid philosophical footing. Another of Descartes' major contributions was his theory of mind-body dualism. He proposed that the mind, a non-physical, thinking substance, was distinct from the body, a physical, extended substance. This separation of mind and matter had profound implications for both philosophy and science. It allowed for the scientific study of the body as a machine without infringing on the religious and philosophical sanctity of the soul. Descartes believed that the mind and body interacted through the pineal gland, a small organ in the center of the brain. He described the body as a complex automaton, with its movements and functions governed by mechanical principles. The passions, or emotions, were for Descartes the result of the body's influence on the mind. He wrote extensively on the passions in his work, The Passions of the Soul, providing a detailed analysis of their causes and effects. Descartes' influence extended far beyond philosophy into the realm of mathematics. He is credited with the invention of analytic geometry, which bridges the gap between algebra and geometry. This innovation, known as the Cartesian coordinate system, is a fundamental tool in mathematics and science to this day. By representing geometric shapes with algebraic equations, Descartes made it possible to solve geometric problems with algebraic methods. This had a profound impact on the development of calculus and modern physics. In his discourse on the method, Descartes published his work on optics, including his discovery of the law of refraction. He also provided the first scientific explanation for the formation of rainbows. Descartes' scientific method, with its emphasis on mathematical reasoning and empirical observation, laid the groundwork for the scientific revolution. He was a rationalist, believing that reason was the ultimate source of knowledge. This contrasted with the empiricist view, which held that knowledge comes primarily from sensory experience. The debate between rationalism and empiricism, sparked in large part by Descartes, would become a central theme in modern philosophy. Descartes' major works, including Meditations on First Philosophy and Principles of Philosophy, were highly influential and controversial. His ideas were seen as a threat by both the Catholic Church and traditional Aristotelian philosophers. Despite the opposition, his work spread rapidly throughout Europe, igniting a philosophical revolution. He spent over 20 years in the Netherlands, a country known for its intellectual freedom, where he wrote most of his major works. In 1649, Descartes accepted an invitation from Queen Christina of Sweden to join her court in Stockholm. The Queen was an avid student of philosophy and wished to learn from the great master himself. However, the harsh Swedish climate and the Queen's demanding schedule took a toll on Descartes' delicate health. He was required to give the Queen lessons at 5 a.m., a stark contrast to his lifelong habit of staying in bed until noon. Within a few months of his arrival, Descartes contracted pneumonia and died in 1650 at the age of 53. His death marked the end of an era, but the beginning of a new philosophical landscape that he had single-handedly reshaped. Descartes' legacy is immense and multifaceted. He is not only the father of modern philosophy, but also a key figure in the history of mathematics and science. His emphasis on reason, his method of doubt, and his quest for certainty continue to inspire and challenge philosophers to this day. The Cartesian coordinate system remains an indispensable tool in countless fields. His mind-body problem continues to be a central topic of debate in philosophy of mind. Even his critics cannot deny the profound impact he had on the course of Western thought. He truly was a man of the world, a soldier, a scientist, a mathematician, and a philosopher. His life and work serve as a testament to the power of human reason to question, to understand, and to reshape our world. Descartes' quest for certainty began with the demolition of all his preconceived notions. He compared his project to building a new house on solid ground, which required first clearing away the old, unstable structure. This radical approach of starting from scratch was revolutionary in his time. The "I think, therefore I am" is not an argument, but an intuition, a direct and immediate grasping of a truth. For Descartes, this intuition was so clear and distinct that it could not be doubted. His proof for the existence of God is a version of the ontological argument. He also offered a cosmological argument, reasoning that the cause of his existence must be a being that is itself uncaused. The establishment of God's existence was crucial for Descartes' epistemology, as it guaranteed the reliability of his clear and distinct ideas. Without a non-deceiving God, Descartes would be trapped in solipsism, the belief that only his own mind exists. Descartes' dualism created the mind-body problem, the difficulty of explaining how a non-physical mind can interact with a physical body. This problem has haunted philosophy for centuries, with many proposed solutions, but no consensus. Despite the problem, Descartes' distinction between mind and matter was incredibly fruitful for the development of science. It allowed scientists to study the physical world without fear of treading on the sacred ground of the soul. Descartes' mechanistic view of the natural world extended to animals, which he considered to be complex automata without souls or feelings. This view, while controversial, was consistent with his sharp distinction between the thinking mind and the unthinking body. In mathematics, the Cartesian coordinate system allowed for the visualization of algebraic equations. This fusion of algebra and geometry was a monumental achievement in the history of human thought. It paved the way for the development of modern mathematics and its application in science and engineering. Descartes' work on optics was also groundbreaking. His explanation of the rainbow was the first to be based on mathematical principles and experimental observation. He correctly identified the angles at which the colors of the rainbow appear. Descartes' philosophical method, with its 4 rules of evidence, analysis, synthesis, and enumeration, was a recipe for clear thinking. He urged his readers to accept only what is clear and distinct, to break down problems into smaller parts, to build up from simple to complex, and to be thorough in their investigations. This method was a powerful tool for intellectual inquiry in any field. Descartes' writing style was also revolutionary. He wrote in a clear, autobiographical style that was accessible to a wide audience. He often wrote in French, the vernacular language, rather than Latin, the traditional language of scholarship. This made his radical ideas available to anyone who could read, not just the academic elite. His discourse on the method was published with 3 essays on optics, geometry, and meteorology, showcasing the power of his method in practice. Descartes was a deeply religious man, a devout Catholic, and he believed that his philosophy provided a new and solid foundation for belief in God. However, his emphasis on individual reason was seen by some as a threat to the authority of the Church. His books were placed on the Catholic Church's Index of Prohibited Books in 1663. Despite this, his influence continued to grow, and his ideas became the starting point for most subsequent Western philosophy. Philosophers like Spinoza, Leibniz, and Malebranche developed their own systems in response to Descartes. The British empiricists Locke, Berkeley, and Hume developed their ideas in opposition to Descartes' rationalism. Kant's Copernican revolution in philosophy was an attempt to synthesize the insights of both rationalism and empiricism. Even today, Descartes' questions and his method of inquiry continue to shape philosophical debates. His life was a relentless pursuit of truth, a journey that took him from the battlefields of Europe to the court of a queen. He was a man who dared to think for himself, to question everything, and to build a new world of knowledge from the ground up. The story of Rene Descartes is the story of the birth of the modern mind.